And here we go. Welcome back to another Chime episode. I think it's like Chime In number 53 or something.
We're at 57.
50. There you go. 57.
We've been doing this 57 times, Tristan.
Dude, that's over a year.
I know.
That's nuts.
I know.
And this is the second time we're having Dustin on.
Yep.
Dustin, welcome back. For those of you who don't know Dustin, he is with a company called Geopoint Leads, or what was the parent company, Dustin?
That's right. Geopoint Data.
Geopoint Data. And I've got my friends, Brett Baker and Mark Rader with us. And Mark, I don't think you've talked to Dustin before. So this is interesting because you've closed a GeoLead transaction, right? I know.
Yeah.
So Dustin, when I text you and I'm like, dude, we closed another one, right? Mark, there you go.
Mark is the guy.
What's up, Dustin?
I almost feel like you're Oprah announcing, and you get a new car.
You get a new house.
You know? Yeah.
That's so good, dude. That's so good. Well, just for those people that don't know what GeoLeads are, what the company does, can you give us a quick breakdown so we can understand it again?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a real estate entrepreneur, and since 2003, I've been building my own real estate portfolio, and I built a brokerage and a property management company, an acquisitions company, a construction company. And so all of those things were able to be built because we were able to drive down our cost per seller acquisition, right? And another way to say that is our cost per contract acquisition. And so what I think we're here to talk about today is using a unique selling proposition to get home sellers to raise their hands. And so that's what I've focused my attention on in the past, in 2003, but in the past 4 years, really, I built a data company where we warehouse all the buy-sell transactions of all homeowners across the United States of America. We have all their cell phones, landlines, email addresses. We have what we would call modeled credit card debts and modeled credit scores and modeled income. And we're pretty serious about that modeling because we're pretty certain what these things are. So we use these in demographic triggers, consumer demographic triggers, and then hard triggers, things like people having requested a cash out refinance on a web form, or people that have looked for a job on a web form, or people that are looking for credit repair on a web form. All of that can be found on geopointdata.com. Oh, and we have a coupon. So Chime 50, you go to geopointdata.com and you get $50 of free data of what we're describing. So what we did is, so Chime 50, use the coupon code Chime 50 at geopointdata.com, and you'll get $50 in free data, which is all the cold data. This is the type of data you would use for mailers or cold calls or door knocking or anything along those lines. But what we did with that data is we helped a couple different lead generation companies create leads off of this data, to the degree of now we're creating 220,000 home seller leads a month. And we're selling 65,000 of those home seller leads. So
what happens to the other ones?
We're selling all of them across the United. Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of trailers, and most realtors don't want to work with trailers. So we there's listed leads. We have a buyer for listed leads, but there's not very many buyers that want to buy listed leads of sellers, right? And so they're all being sold to the degree that they have value, and then there's just a bunch of crappy leads that come in.
Got it. Oh, nice. So, dude, that's actually an interesting percentage, right? 60. You sell 65,000 of the over 200,000 that you make, and I know that because we've participated in this program. You sell it per almost per county, and if the county's too small, does that mean you go into? Is that the biggest Dr. Pepper I've ever seen in my life, or what the hell is that?
This is Tevana.
Okay, got it.
Tevana. Yes. No, but this is the best tea you will ever have in your life. And so
they're downing like a 2-liter Dr. Pepper.
I was I'm like, Dustin, it's only 8 a.m. I'm like,
it's a 40. Yeah, it's like I got Mickey.
I have to say that I got to be in Dustin's corner. That actually is really, really good tea, and I'm a tea snob, so
Thank you.
Okay, now hold up for a second, because I'm a tea snob. Hold that up one more time.
Okay.
I'm gonna go find that. Of course, in Anchorage, we can't get anything up here. I'm gonna get like moose milk or something like that.
I Yeah.
Hey, Brett, we'll take that plane down to my hometown in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We'll get you some real good sweet tea.
Oh, sweet tea, not for me.
Oh, no.
So good. That's so good. All right, Dustin.
So yeah, we use a cash offer to generate a seller leads, and what we're really doing, what we're here to talk about is how realtors can apply that principle. I mean, most realtors aren't going to start generating or selling 65,000 home seller leads a month, but they can use that principle as a DIY model in their local markets, right? So what can you do to have a unique selling proposition? Well, you definitely have a cash offer. In fact, I'm a cash buyer across the United States of America without thinking about it. Now, most sellers don't want to sell me their house across the United States of America because in California, I'm going to try to buy it 80 cents of ARV, but a professional would probably buy more in California right now, 90% of after repair value, right? So what we're looking to do is use that unique selling proposition to get sellers to raise their hands and make sure you have the resources to fulfill whatever that that the person raised their hand for.
Wait a minute, Tristan, is Dustin the guy that I've been saying we got a buyer?
Yeah.
Dustin, you're the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got someone right now who wants to buy it, and it's you.
Fantastic, for sure. And so that business exists on massive scale. There's on 3 breakfasts in January. I met with 30,000 houses a month of current demand acquisition demand, right? So funds that are buying 30,000 houses a month. I met with in 3 breakfasts, and that's who the buyers are. You have a cash buyer everywhere. Where you can use our widget. We have a website called the Owner Advocate, which helps realtors with their unique selling proposition. And we have a widget there where you can submit your property and get a cash offer for it. And so that's the business. So you need a unique selling proposition, and if it's a cash offer, that's perfect. But in your neighborhood, your unique selling proposition might be that I'm playing soccer with your kids, So like whatever your unique selling proposition is, you have to get that messaging in front of people and figure out if it converts. That's that.
What's a funnel that you take people through? Specifically, the data that you have that you're targeting sellers, right? What's that funnel look like, or what questions or how many questions need to be answered so that we get better quality seller leads?
Well, here's a fun one, and this is where my business goes, because in Arizona, a cash offer is almost irrelevant. Everybody already has a cash offer. So my value add, my unique selling proposition is being degraded by the day. So we're looking for alternative unique selling propositions, right? So what we're currently running right now in Arizona and British Columbia is the fix and list, the sell and stay, the cash offer, the listing, and the trade-in offer, right? So those are all unique selling propositions. So let's go back into your question directly, Tristan, is the funnel. You're looking for a top of funnel process to get someone to say, oh, that's interesting. You're looking to build your pixel. You're looking to build your electronic asset. You're looking to build your landing page. Once you have one seller land on that pixel, Facebook saw that one seller land on that pixel, and they say, they must have helped that person because they went to that page related to that ad. And then you have an asset. Now you drive 10 people to that pixel and 50 people to that pixel, or thousands of people to that pixel. Now Facebook recognizes you as a authority, right? And it just gets bigger and better and stronger and faster, right? So it really doesn't make a difference that it's a cash offer or a listing offer or a home valuation offer. You're going to try to get someone to raise their hand off of whatever unique selling proposition you can get them to raise their hand on. You want to know how you got them to raise their hand, and you want to track the landing page that actually got them onto that landing page, but then the sky's the limit. So imagine those 5 unique selling propositions. We'll talk about them again. Cash offer, the listing, right? Those are kind of the standard ones right now. The fix and list, the sell and stay, sale leaseback, and the trade-in. So all 5 of those things could get someone to raise their hand and say, what is this? Just that curiosity is enough to drive someone into the landing page. So what is this? Oh, okay. And so like, imagine a world where it's my face. I'm a seller, testimonial, Dustin Defrates being the seller. And so I use Dustin Defrates' sell and stay program, and I had the greatest experience in my entire life, right? I got to keep my mother in her house for 3 years, and I got all the cash to take advantage of a peak, right? So like there's a testimonial. So if they hooked onto that testimonial as a top of funnel lead, then they're being driven to a landing page. And if they're being driven to that landing page, you're building your pixel.
Interesting.
Dude, I like
so that's
that.
our business. Yeah. So we're in the business of lead generation. We're in the business of communicating with sellers. You need a unique selling proposition. You need to get them into your sphere of influence. And in this scenario, it's a pixel, but you can make cold calls. You can knock on doors. You can leave flyers. You can send mailers. You can find someone at the grocery store. It doesn't really matter. Your top of funnel is going to start with a unique selling proposition. To go directly into Tristan's question, your top of funnel starts with a unique selling proposition, and then you have to nurture that process, right? You're either going to reinforce the unique selling proposition, or you're going to offer alternative services because you captured them in your funnel. So you're retargeting, right? Or you're calling them and saying, hey, listen, it doesn't seem like you're interacting very well with our sell leaseback program. Would you like to talk about our listing program where you can get a market premium? And so as a realtor, you want to be able to go in and out of those conversations quickly and fluidly, and then fulfill, right? So if you don't have a cash offer, then there's plenty of resources to be able to help.
All right, that makes sense. So then when we're calling them to actually talk to them and say, hey, look, you just sent your information over. How can we help you? How do we approach that dialogue so we can have the best results? Because these are a little different. It's not like, hey, you just visited our website through Google. You want to buy or sell a home, right?
That's right. So I think that you're asking about the nurturing cycle. Is that so you're how do you
partially because I know that we've also talked to some sellers where they want to just list, right?
Yep.
I'm talking about dialogue. Help me understand the dialogue I need to have with these specific leads.
Yeah, good point. So you have to honor the offer that you have delivered, right? So you have to fulfill the offer that you delivered. So the critical function when you're communicating with these cash offer leads is to communicate a cash offer, right? So what we like to say is that all realtors would prefer, and what I like to call an ethical bait and switch, right? So like the realtor actually knows what's in the best interest of the home seller, but this home seller doesn't trust the realtor enough to be able to listen to the realtor about what's in their best interest, right? So that ethical bait and switch happens when the realtor knows internally what is in their best interest and can't yet communicate that to them, but starts pushing towards what really is in their best interest. Listen, you need that money right now? Let's get you a cash offer, right? I'm going to get you 10 cash offers, right? You're going to be able to choose from an array of cash offers because ding, the light bulb went off and that you knew that a cash offer actually was in that seller's best interest, right? And then the other side is ding, this seller doesn't need money, doesn't have a timeline to sell, doesn't have any physical problems, and really just doesn't care. So the only real way we're going to be able to motivate them is maybe with money, but maybe it's not even money. Maybe we have to go find them another house, right? That's a unique selling proposition right there. Is that, hey, listen, you don't really need to sell. I need to go find you a house to live in before you can sell your house. So how do I help you? So what you're really trying to accomplish, the answer to your question fundamentally is you establish the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are price, timeline, condition, and motivation, right? Price, timeline, condition, motivation. Once you've established the 4 pillars, you've built enough trust with the community, with the seller, with the home seller, that you can literally switch them, right? So it's no longer this ethical bait and switch where you're the only one that knows about it. Now you're going to tell them the truth, because once you've gotten those 4 things, you've built enough rapport with them, enough trust with them to be able to communicate the truth with them. And then you just say, listen, I'm a pro, here's my authority, here's my resume. I know that what you're trying to accomplish, and a cash offer is not going to work out for you. And so that's the approach. So you focus your attention 100% on the message that they came into your funnel on, right? And you drill that all the way down into price, timeline, condition, motivation. Once you have those things, you understand whether or not they are actually going to stay in your top of funnel offer, which turns into your bottom of funnel execution contract, right? But you got to wait until you have established that rapport.
All right. And for those people that don't understand the funnel, what does that look like? Just, can you share a screen with us so that people can kind of follow through?
I got some really ridiculous funnels built. Let me see what I could show you quickly. Yes. Let's see. I mean, that's
This way people understand what Geopoint leads are, so that they can see, I got it. They're answering these questions. They're going through this process, and then we're getting the interested party.
Certainly. Okay. So then I'm going to, okay, that helped me, Tristan, because I was going to show you an actual diagram of our electronics of how it works.
Oh, I mean, that would have been really Brett would have loved that.
I'm in.
All right. This is gonna be so much easier, right? So much easier. So if you guys want to learn the fundamentals of what I'm talking about, we have a $297 32 module course called the Listing Advocate, and that's basically you trying to using a unique selling proposition, and the majority of this is cash offer, but we go through the 5 unique selling propositions, and that's a way to learn that, right? But guaranteed house buyer is a web form where we're driving traffic, so that by the time they end up on a website like this, we have built enough rapport where the only thing left is to fill out a lead form, right? A website like this is designed to create education related to a cash offer, right? So you're building up rapport electronically with a brand. Get your offer in 24 hours from a professional home buyer. Oh, okay. And we've been seen on all of these things. Why use the home buyer team? I obviously on this website, if that wasn't obvious. Freedom to sell a house, get your cash offer. And so you click here. I hope that does something. There you go. So 8523 East Mackenzie Drive. Mackenzie Drive is a house I used to own a long time ago. Reason for wanting to sell. So again, we built enough rapport to be able to ask these types of questions, but this is our cash offers. This is what our cash offer leads do, is we filter through people's BS meter, because what they're looking for is a cash offer, which is certainty. Everybody wants certainty. So they're willing to answer questions so that they get that certainty. And then the way that we like to approach it now is you start your journey with a cash offer, right? So like you may end up listing your house, you may end up doing all of these different things, but you start here. So inherited, downsizing, divorce, repairs and damage. Let's say repairs and damage. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Now, we drive a lot of traffic related to cash out refinance, and we drive a lot of traffic related to debt. And so we're asking whether or not they're behind on their payments yet. And so we built enough rapport. So you usually don't want to ask some of these questions in a lead form, and I'm just kind of qualifying while I go through this, that this is why we're able to deliver such great leads. But you may not want to ask all of these questions in your lead form, because you will get less leads. Yeah. How soon would you like to sell? As soon as possible, within 3 months. Current occupancy. Oops. Tenant occupied. What type of property do you own? Estimated home value. So this is how our leads are created, and then this is what we're selling. We deliver 3 or 4 of these indicators, along with the name, phone number, email address, and all the TCPA compliant information, et cetera, et cetera. So this all this information is used to decide whether we're selling high intent leads for a lot of money or mid and low intent leads for lesser money. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Are you listed with a realtor? Yes, no. This is a disqualifying question. We refund our leads for 2 reasons. One is if the phone number is a non-working number, and the other is if it's listed with a realtor, because our backend systems can control those 2 factors. Are you listed with a realtor? Name, email. Get my offer.
And we get all of this information as soon as they fill it in, right?
Correct, instantly. So what happened now is my data company is being pinged to figure out whether or not there's equity in the house, whether or not the owner's name matches. It's doing a bunch of different things, and all of those things are not certainties. They're just algorithms that try to help us. That's how we go from 220,000 leads to 65,000 leads actually sold, is getting rid of a lot of crap, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, instantly my data company is pinged. It's picking up the necessary information to deliver the value of the lead. And then we are putting that into your Chime CRM.
That makes sense. I get that now.
Super. Well, that was the goal. Yeah.
Well, I think this is why the quality of the leads are superior to anything we've tested as far as seller leads go, because they're going through this process, and you've already targeted them knowing that they're possibly sellers. So is this a massive database that you have and you consistently retarget on Google and social, or are you always acquiring new data? How does that work?
We're omnichannel in nature. It's a difficult question to answer. We're driving traffic to a network of web forms. And so we're using a variety of sources, and some of them are warehoused. The sources, the marketing is warehoused within our infrastructure, and some of that marketing infrastructure is outside of our infrastructure and operates by paying smart people to drive traffic to our website.
Nice.
So that's the easy version of your answer. Again, I could show you an electronic diagram of how these things work, but the easy answer is we're driving traffic through a variety of sources.
Nice.
One thing I've seen a value with the Geopoint leads, because like Tristan said earlier, we actually call those leads and we actually close those leads. Is that it gives a reason to call instead of just calling like a cold call. Is a warm call, because you're offering them something that they've already kind of signed up for, or at least inquired about to find out.
Yep.
So it really is an effective way to get seller leads. Because one thing I've always noticed is that it's hard to get seller leads until we started doing this, Tristan, about a year ago?
Dustin, when did we start? About a year ago?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and before that, it was always difficult to find good, solid seller leads. It's always been easy finding buyer leads, but the seller leads, and some of those buyers who are also sellers, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as strictly seller leads, this has been a very effective tool.
Yeah. So the thing that everyone needs to understand is that there's a reason behind the madness, right? So you're getting not necessarily bottom of funnel leads or top of funnel leads. You're getting more of middle of funnel leads because they've gone through the rigmarole of having answer that many questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the big factors in this thing, is that we're losing a lot of money on a lot of leads because we're not selling a lot of leads and we're churning away a lot of traffic, and then we pick that up with remarketing, retargeting. So it's a middle of funnel lead, and you're able to get a hold of them, and they're looking for the cash offer, which means that you at least have something to talk about, and so it's a foot in the door.
Right.
That makes sense.
Very true, dude. All right. So question in regards to how it funnels into Chime, because you have a partnership with Chime. Tell me about that.
Yep. Definitely. So we have an API with our system. So there's two sides of this process. One is that we have an accounting administrative process. So the way that our lead structure works for realtors, we have investor leads also, but the way that it works for realtors is we have a $2,500 a month package, and that escrows $2,500 into your account for that month, right? And we have a really simple structure where you just pay $5,000 up front, and you are ticking down an escrowed account on the number of leads that you're purchasing, right? So it starts at $5,000. We have leads that are $40, $60, $80, and we have investor leads that are significantly more than that. And so it ticks down the amounts of money that you are charged every lead that is delivered via an API instantly, right? So when that lead is created on that web form, you're the only person that's going to get that lead right that very second. Speed to lead is a critical function because we're using what would be called interruptive marketing, interruptive advertising, right? So we're interrupting someone's attention span. And so if you can stay within that interruption sequence, then you're going to win, right? If you get outside of that interruptive sequence, then you will have a significantly lower contact ratio. And we look at your KPIs, and we know exactly whether you're good. Tristan's good at getting into, obviously, but there's realtors that you can see they don't have speed to lead figured out.
Mm-hmm. And would you say for this, speed to lead is necessary or
critical?
Okay. And why is that? Just so people understand.
Yeah.
Interruptive advertising. So if you're working hard on your email to a partner or a realtor or whatever it is, you're working hard on something, and then all of a sudden I am able to get an email in front of you or a social media ad in front of you, and I grab your attention for 15 seconds, and you're like, all right, fine, I'll fill out that form. And so now you filled out the lead form. We've interrupted your attention So we want to stay in that interruptive pattern as long as we possibly can. So if you can seal the deal by connecting on a human to human level, then you've built that emotional relationship. And that's why, I don't know what this cigar, but I'm sure you guys know the statistic about the first realtor to get to the seller is the realtor that they go with, whatever that statistic is. This is the same thing. 87%. So it's not just because you're the first person, it's because you were able to get in the emotional state of the human at the time that they were susceptible to that, right? Everybody walks around with big walls around them and they will not put those walls down for anything. But then if you can get inside of that wall, you got to get in hard. You got to get the chisel and the sledgehammer and then the, so that's what we're talking about is
jackhammer.
Jackhammer, thank you. We're talking about jackhammers.
Buy a seller lead, get a jackhammer.
Yeah, that was great. Charades is later.
I love that. All right, Dustin, anything else you want to add? How do people sign up? If people have questions about this, where do they go?
Yeah, go to geopointleads.com and it will schedule a calendar event after you answer a series of questions. So geopointleads.com. And answer a series of questions. And then one of our sales guys will pick it up, probably Dom, and they will go through and kind of let you know whether or not your market is available. Because these are exclusive leads, we only have the capability to sell one lead to one realtor, right? And so that allows markets to sell out pretty quickly. And so you'll want to fill out the questionnaire, figure out whether or not your market is available, and then you'll schedule an appointment with Dom if it is, and then we'll be able to work out a beautiful relationship just like we did with you.
I love it.
And then use Chime 50. So there's data. Those web form leads are instant offer verified seller leads. The difference between verified leads and cold data is used to create verified seller leads, right? So Chime 50 gives you $50 of free data. Let me just, for the purpose of helping people understand how easy this is.
Now, Dustin,
you go
to 50 or Chime spelled out 50?
Chime 50. Thank you. Great point. Geopointdata.com. So in the dropdown from Geopoint Data, you have verified seller leads. That's what we talked about all day, right? And then you have marketing prospect lists. So $50 in free data is for the marketing prospect list. And this helps people visualize what is actually happening. So when I'm looking for data that has everyone's cell phone, landlines, and email addresses included, right? So because I'm gonna make outbound calls. I'm looking for absentee and owner occupant data. I'm looking for single families, condos, and 2 to 4plexes. And then this is the fun section, right? Well, this is the really, really fun section, this premium flag, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is a fun section. So you can use all of the selected filters or any of the selected filters. And we're gonna go here with vacant, 60 years and older. Anyone have enough, what would that likely be? Vacant and 60 years and older. Any guesses? So if a house is vacant and the demographic is at 60 years and older, what is that? What type of a lead is that?
It's sizing down.
Yeah, or death, right? So you could
death.
start.
Yeah,
you could start cycling.
One, Dustin.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I didn't have Dr. Pepper this morning. Okay, come on.
2 liters of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So owner age, I could have made it easier by saying, all right, if this household member is 70 years and older, right? 70 years to 89 plus and vacant in Maricopa County, just for fun, let's see how many there are. Let's not do 70 years and older. Let's do just the normal filter. So motivator flag, we're going to do 60 years and older. Maybe we'll choose another couple. 3 or more mortgages. There's something weird. They had a first and a second. That's not that weird, but then they put another lien on there somehow, some way. So 3 mortgages is an interesting one. Multi-property landlord is an interesting one. So we're just for the fun. So then we're going to say, how many do we have in the system that has phone numbers for these homeowners that are either vacant or 60 years and older, or 3+ mortgages, or multi-property landlord, right? And so that's what Chime, the number 50 does, is you get to choose $50 worth of these leads, and then you can cold call these.
Cool. Yeah, I love that, man. Thank you for that, Dustin.
Dustin, question
course.
for you: Are these phone numbers scrubbed already for the do not call list, or do we have to do that?
The phone numbers come with the information on whether they are on or off of the do not call list. Now, there's some controversial information that I'm about to share with everybody, and there's a legal argument that says that if you are making a cash offer, you may not have to abide by the do not call list, right? And so because you're not soliciting anything, I'm not calling up Mark and saying, hey, would you like to buy my shoe? It's $10, right? That's a solicitation. When I call up Mark and say, Mark, I'd like to buy your house for cash, that may not be a solicitation. Now, I'd be happy to share a website link follow-up on an attorney and me going through a blog post of how this actually works from a technical perspective, but generally that's an argument. So it comes with the DNC information, but because we're selling mostly to cash offer solicitors, even though they're not solicitors, these guys are all making cash offers. A lot of people aren't following the DNC laws when it comes to the cash offer specifically.
Okay.
You have to talk to an attorney. I'm not an attorney. That's just what me and my attorney have come to terms on, you know? So
I love it, dude. Well, look, with that, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Mark, you put up the link, geopointdata.com, leads that convert. There it is. If you have any questions, reach out to Dustin or reach out to Mark and myself, and we'll definitely connect you. Dustin, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on, and super excited to see some more leads come through, you know?
Let's do it.
Man. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Mark.
Thank
See you, everybody. Bye, Mark.
All right, thanks.
Bye.